The city was quiet that evening, with the sky painted in shades of violet and orange. In a small, dusty corner of the marketplace, 3 alien creatures sat in cages, their eyes dull and sad. They had been brought from a distant planet and were considered useless because they could not reproduce. The seller had tried to hide them at the back, but their strange shapes and soft, glowing skin caught the eyes of every passerby. Sterile, no value. Take them if you want, he said without emotion, as if speaking about broken machines rather than living beings. The first alien was small, with translucent blue skin that shimmered in the fading light. It moved its long fingers nervously, tracing invisible patterns in the dust. The second was taller, with golden eyes that seemed to watch everything carefully. Its shoulders drooped as if carrying a heavy weight. The third was round and soft, almost childlike, and it whimpered quietly when someone passed by. People glanced at them but shook their heads, muttering that they had no use. The market was loud with merchants shouting about food, robots, and gadgets, but no one wanted the 3 abandoned creatures. Far across the city, a man named Elias walked slowly with his 2 children, Mira and Leo. His small home was quiet, lonely after the death of his wife years ago. He worked hard to provide for his kids, but something was missing in his life, something that made the evenings feel empty. He loved his children dearly, yet he wished for more joy, more life in their home. The sight of the glowing aliens in their cages made him stop. His heart tightened, and an unfamiliar feeling of hope stirred inside him. Mira, the older child, pressed her hand against Elias's sleeve. "Dad, look at them," she said softly, pointing at the small glowing creature. Leo leaned closer, his eyes wide with curiosity. "Are they like us?" he asked, though his voice trembled with wonder. Elias crouched near the cages and studied the creatures carefully. They did not look dangerous, only scared and sad. He could feel their loneliness, and strangely, he understood it. They were outcasts, just like he sometimes felt in a world that valued only usefulness. A crowd of shoppers passed by, ignoring the cages, and the seller sighed. "No one wants them. You can take all 3 if you want." Cheap. His voice was cold, but it gave Elias a strange courage. Could he really take them home? Could his small family care for 3 creatures no one else wanted? Myra tugged at his hand. "Please, Dad, let's take them." Her eyes sparkled with hope, and even Leo nodded eagerly. Elias looked at the 3 aliens one last time, and he made his decision. That night, as they walked home through the empty streets with the creatures safely in his arms and cart, Elias felt a warmth he had not felt in years. The children laughed softly as the smallest alien made tiny glowing patterns in the air. The taller one leaned close to Elias, as if trusting him immediately, and the round, soft creature squeaked happily, curling against Mira. For the first time in a long time, Elias felt that maybe his small family could become something bigger, something extraordinary. In that quiet moment, no one knew that these sterile creatures would change their lives forever, and the adventure of trust, love, and unexpected courage had just begun. The next morning, Elias woke early, thinking about the 3 creatures he had brought home. He looked at them sleeping peacefully in a corner of his small living room. Their gentle glow lit up the walls, casting soft shadows. Myra and Leo were already awake, whispering excitedly about the creatures and what games they could play together. Elias smiled, feeling a warmth he had not felt in years. He knelt down to check on them, the smallest one opening its glowing eyes and blinking curiously. The taller alien stretched slowly, as if greeting him, and the round one made small, happy sounds, curling into a ball near Mira. Elias wondered if he had made a mistake. Could his small home really hold 3 creatures no one else wanted? Could his children learn to care for beings so different from themselves? Mira approached carefully, holding out her hand. The smallest alien sniffed it, and then touched it lightly with one of its long fingers. Mira giggled. "See, they like me," she whispered. Leo tried next, and the round alien nuzzled against him, seeming to enjoy the touch. Elias felt a connection forming, a trust that went beyond words. Yet not everything was easy. The taller alien looked around nervously, its golden eyes scanning every corner of the room. It did not seem afraid of Elias, but it was cautious, almost as if it was protecting the others. The children watched quietly, sensing the alien's unease. "Dad, is it going to be okay?" Leo asked softly. Elias nodded, though he was not sure himself. He knew that adopting them would not be simple. The day passed with small challenges, feeding them, figuring out what they liked, and learning how to communicate. They did not speak, at least not in a language humans could understand, but they responded to gestures, sounds, and touches. Mira and Leo were patient, eager to learn, and the aliens slowly began to trust them more. By evening, Elias could see the beginnings of a bond forming, one that felt stronger than anything he had imagined. Suddenly, a sound outside made them all freeze. A hovering drone passed near the window. Scanning the area, Elias's heart skipped a beat. It was rare for drones to check ordinary homes. Could someone be watching the aliens? He realized that keeping them safe might be harder than he thought. He looked at his children and the creatures, and he made a quiet promise. I will protect you, no matter what. That night, as the family settled together, the aliens huddled near the children. Elias thought about the choice he had made. It was not an easy one, and the road ahead would be full of challenges. But for the first time in years, his heart felt full. The children laughed softly as the round alien made glowing patterns in the air. Mira held the smallest one close, whispering secrets only they could understand. And Elias knew that this choice, though risky, was the right one. The journey of trust, love, and discovery had truly begun. Days passed, and life in Elias's home grew warmer and stranger. The aliens became more comfortable around the children. Mira and Leo laughed more each day as they watched the smallest alien create soft glowing shapes in the air. Patterns like stars and flowers floated gently before fading. The round one had a gentle hum that seemed to calm the children whenever they were scared. The taller alien remained cautious, but its golden eyes shone with intelligence and awareness. One evening, as Elias was helping Leo with his homework, a sudden flicker of light startled them. The smallest alien had caused objects to move slightly, lifting a small book in the air with its glowing fingers. Elias's eyes widened. Could they really manipulate objects? He had only thought they were gentle creatures, but now it seemed they had abilities beyond understanding. Mira clapped her hands in delight. Look, Dad, they are magic, she whispered, although Elias knew it was not magic. But something far more remarkable. The taller alien began to show its strength in quiet ways, opening a heavy door easily that had been stuck for months. It watched Elias closely, learning his movements. As if preparing to help or defend, Elias realized they were not just passive creatures. They had the potential to protect, to assist, and maybe even change the lives of those around them. The children sensed it too, hugging the aliens tightly, feeling safe and excited at the same time. But the abilities also brought unease. Elias noticed that sometimes the aliens reacted to sounds or movements that he could not hear or see. One night, the round alien shivered and glowed brighter, pointing its tiny finger toward the window. Elias looked outside and saw nothing, yet his gut told him something was approaching. Something or someone was watching them. He had to be careful. The joy of their new family life was now mixed with a sense of suspense and caution. The children were unaware of the full danger, but they sensed adventure. Mira asked, "Do they know something, Dad?" Elias nodded quietly. "I think they do, Mira, and we have to trust them." The aliens huddled near the children, their glow brighter than ever, as if communicating silently. Elias realized that adopting them had not just brought companionship, but also responsibility and unknown powers that could change everything. That night, Elias watched the glowing shapes dance across the walls, his children asleep with the aliens beside them. He knew that the next days would be full of surprises, some joyful, some dangerous. The family had grown, but the world outside was not ready for what they had. The aliens were more than companions. They were mysterious beings with hidden abilities, and Elias felt both awe and worry. The true adventure of trust, courage, and discovery was only beginning. The next week brought an uneasy tension to Elias's home. Strange sounds echoed in the streets at night, distant and mechanical. The hovering drones returned, scanning the neighborhood more closely than before. Elias felt a chill as he watched their lights flicker across the windows. The aliens stirred at the noises, the smallest one glowing brightly and moving nervously. The taller alien's golden eyes followed every shadow outside, ready to act if needed. One evening, as Mira and Leo played with the round alien in the garden, a group of city enforcers appeared, their uniforms shining, their faces serious. "Those creatures are considered dangerous," one said. "You cannot keep them here." Elias's heart pounded. "They are not dangerous. They are part of my family," he replied firmly. The enforcers hesitated, unsure how to handle the unusual family. The children clung to Elias, their eyes wide with fear, while the aliens glowed brighter, sensing the danger. Suddenly, the smallest alien floated into the air, forming a glowing barrier between the enforcers and the family. The taller one moved swiftly, blocking the path, its body strong and precise. The round alien emitted a soft hum that seemed to confuse the enforcers, their scanners malfunctioning as if the creature's abilities interfered with technology. Elias realized they were more than companions. They could protect his family, and maybe even change the rules of this world. The standoff lasted tense moments, the enforcers unsure whether to attack or retreat. Mira whispered, "Dad, they're helping us." Leo nodded, feeling brave beside them. Elias took a deep breath. "Stay close to me," he murmured. He knew that their home was no longer completely safe, but he also knew that they could survive if they trusted each other. The aliens, glowing and calm now, seemed to understand his resolve, ready to act as one family against any threat. After what felt like hours, the enforcers finally withdrew, scanning the skies warily. Elias watched them go, relief washing over him. Yet he knew that danger was not over. The city might send others, or try to take the aliens away again. The family had won the first battle, but the real test was just beginning. That night, as the children slept safely with the glowing aliens around them, Elias vowed to protect them no matter what. He had learned that love, courage, and trust could overcome fear, and together, they could face anything. The adventure of survival, hope, and discovery was reaching a new height. The days after the enforcers left were filled with quiet relief. Elias, Mira, and Leo continued to care for the aliens, learning more about their powers and personalities. The smallest alien now created glowing shapes that told stories in the air. The taller one helped with tasks around the home, lifting heavy objects and opening locked doors. The round alien comforted the children whenever they were upset. Their presence had become part of daily life, bringing joy and wonder into the house. Word began to spread quietly through the city about the unusual family. People were curious, some skeptical, but others came to admire the courage and bond between humans and aliens. The society that had once rejected the creatures slowly began to reconsider. Perhaps usefulness was not the only value. Perhaps love, trust, and companionship mattered more than anyone had imagined. Elias felt a quiet pride, knowing they had changed hearts simply by living honestly and kindly. One afternoon, Mira asked, "Dad, will anyone ever take them away?" Elias shook his head. "Not if we stay together and protect them. We are a family now," the aliens responded, glowing softly and gathering close to the children, as if promising they would never leave. The golden-eyed alien looked at Elias with understanding. The round one hummed gently, and the smallest one danced glowing patterns around them. It was clear that they had accepted their new home, and the humans had accepted them. Evening fell, painting the sky in warm shades, and the home was filled with laughter. Elias watched his children play with the aliens, feeling a deep sense of completion. The loneliness that had once haunted him was gone, replaced by love, excitement, and hope. They were no longer just a small family, but something extraordinary, a human family, with alien companions who had powers and hearts of their own. Together, they were stronger, braver, and happier. In the quiet of the night, Elias reflected on everything that had happened. The journey had been unexpected, full of fear, challenges, and unknown dangers. Yet it had also brought the greatest gift: connection and belonging. Myra and Leo slept peacefully, the aliens glowing softly around them. Their home was safe, their hearts full, and their spirits ready for whatever adventures lay ahead. In a world that often rejected the different and unknown, this small family had shown that love, trust, and courage could create a new future. And so, their story continued, full of hope, wonder, and the promise of extraordinary days ahead.